course.
Maybe my question here.
Bring it.
So why am I so not anxious, but resentful and kind of jealous of my wife for me making her a stay-at-home mom?
You tell me. What are you pissed about?
It's more along the lines that I feel like she gets to see my kids more than I do, and I feel like I do so much to provide for the family, and she's just at home chilling, taking naps, and you know what I mean, stuff like that.
Is she just at home chilling, taking naps?
Well, not necessarily. She's taking care of the kids.
Yeah, dude. Where does these stories? Where does anger come from, man? I can hear it in the phone.
Yeah, I think it's just I'm not really okay with myself, to be honest.
Yeah, why? You're busting your butt to fight for your family.
I don't know. I feel like I'm a failure as a dad.
Why?
Every time that something has went south, it's basically paycheck to paycheck.
Are you resentful of having to raise somebody else's kid?
Yeah, his dad causes a lot of issues.
I don't care about his dad. I don't care about him. I'm just asking you. Now that you're holding your own biological kid, does it kind of piss you off that you're having to raise another man's kid?
Yeah.
Does it kind of piss you off that your wife will forever be linked to some other dude?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about that. That's macho red pill bullcrap language. Like what?
Men are so glad that they're not the ones who have to get pregnant and give birth, but they are also so mad that we're the ones that do. It's the basis of all oppression of women. If you control reproduction, you control everything. You control the economy. You control how many soldiers they have for wars. You control how many capitalists they have to consume. You control who's in the future. If women have the power to decide if and when we want to become mothers, that's also the power to decide which men get to become fathers. And I don't think a lot of men want to live in the world where they have to prove to women that they are worthy of continuing their legacy and having children. The number one cause of death for pregnant women, more than the top 3 obstetric causes of death, like hemorrhage, blood clots, is literally being murdered by a man. I think it makes some men so angry that they cannot control something so important. They've won. They run the world. They control everything, but they cannot control the source of life. There's such power in controlling the source of life, and only we can control that. The only way they can take control is by force, violence, and laws, which they do. Which is why attacks on reproductive freedoms, on birth control, abortion, women's healthcare in general, it's not about life. It's not about religious freedom. It's not about women's health and safety. It's about control. It's about controlling women. It's about men being so mad that we can control one thing, the most important thing that they cannot control. They were not given that power, and we were, and they are so mad about it.
Men are looking at women and saying, you gifted, you smart, you beautiful, you sexy, you could get anybody you want, you could get the lashes you want, you could get the hair you want, you could get the skin you want, you could get the job you want. You got natural industries like cosmetics and things of that nature to where you can make 6 figures because of being a woman. You got certain concessions. You got grants out here for you. Woman-owned business, minority-owned business, minority woman-owned business. You got these different funds for women-owned businesses. You make more than me. You can make more than me in your sleep. I got to use my hands to earn. When I use my mind to earn, I'm not that good at it. So I cannot control you because not only do you not need to cook for me and clean for me because you're not a chef or a maid, but you can actually pay for a chef or a maid if you really wanted to. And because I'm working with my hands or I'm bumping my gums on a podcast, I'm not really all the way in that position. So now I can't control you. I can't tell you what to do because you actually work harder than me and you make more money than me. You got more going than me. So really, I need to be cooking for you and folding your clothes and changing the baby diapers. And I need to be the CEO of home instead of you being the CEO of home because you actually the CEO of your own business. That's why these men butt hurt today. That's why they butt hurt today. And that's why they butt is actually hurting literally. They going to men now and they getting power drive in the rectum by other men because they so upset and mad with women. They so just out of order and just disillusioned by women that they sit and they talk bad about women so much with other men that they start to fall in love with these men on the podcast with them. They start to fall in love with the chest and the back muscles and the conversation skills of these men that they sitting there bashing women about, and they forgetting they call in the world. They forgetting that if you man enough, it don't matter what a woman make and what she do, she's still gonna respect you as a man if you man enough. And so guys is coming and they saying like, oh, these women disrespectful, these women this and that. And it's really like these certain women, they saying, hey, you got to pay the piper. Like, you're not finna come and try to cheat and be cheating on me and disrespecting me and thinking you finna run me like no slave when I'm out here getting it. I got my freedom now, Kunta. I ain't up under your thumb. But see, what happened is we come from a time to where we had women under our thumb. We was able to beat on women. We was able to cheat on women. We was able to spit in a woman's face. We was able to cuss a woman out. We were able to take all our pain out on a woman, our mama, our grandma, our auntie, and then our girlfriend, then our wife. We was able to just dog a woman out. A woman got to deal with all our trauma. She got to deal with all our tears. She got to deal with all our anger. She got to deal with all our frustration. She got to deal with all our failure. She got to deal with everything. And then when we get success, we then go get a woman that we could never get.
Probably hard to be around because you're anxious. I mean, you're anxious a lot of time and you're angry. You deliver mail?
Yeah, I'm a mailman.
Okay.
So some of the comments that we're getting here, I'm glad to see quite a few ladies in this comment thread, actually, because this is wild. When I say this is wild, strong father figure is important. Maybe it's his chance to become one for his kids. Oh, no, I don't see that happening. Like this guy, nah, that's a loser. Oh, my gosh. Now, let me scroll up because there's another one. Like, okay, yeah. So, one of the comments says, this is the typical male of today. 100%. That's 100% accurate. Males are jealous of women because males want to play video games and do nothing. Yep. Males want to be treated like women by women. It sounds narcissistic. Needs fault and needs to win, and he's jealous of the kids. Wow. And ladies, imagine that, but yet you would be the one getting pregnant, having to care for those kids. Like, just 4B all the way. 4B. I cannot stress that enough. Like, they want to be treated like women. They want to stay at home, do nothing, then get resentful, and blame you. Especially with him saying that he's the one that encouraged her to leave the job. And now he's all resentful and he gets to the house and he takes it out on her. What? Like, I can't even believe that. So they want women, they don't want to do anything. It's wild to me that this species is so comfortable being as useless as they are. It is totally wild. You have to be careful. 4B. Don't speak to them. Don't date them. If the guy isn't serving a very specific purpose, which the only purpose that makes sense to me as far as putting him into is if he's making a lot of money. So at least that way you're not really getting attached to him. What you're getting attached to is the money so that you can have a comfortable lifestyle. Because otherwise, this is what you'll get every time, for the most part, in the 90th percentile. This is what you get, or you'll either get a bunch of arguments, a bunch of stress. Like, it won't make any sense at all. The trade-off will not make sense for you, right? So someone said he doesn't have relationship skills, and he doesn't have a mature perspective. This is not a good role model. Absolutely. My husband and I are in a similar situation. It's hard for the both of us, and I try to find part-time work, but I'm getting rejected. It's hard, probably missing the kids. Oh my God, these ladies, the suffering. Men need to be educated with scientific journals written about a stable figure at home for the well-being of the child's development. The rewards of a stable core built in a child's inner being. What? They know that already. They don't care. Males are selfish by nature. They could give two craps about that. They do not care. The only way to get them to do anything is by tricking them into doing it. And when I say tricking them into doing it, it's you literally have to treat them like children. You have to trick them into doing it or thinking that they're doing it for themselves, so that way it appeases I feel like I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but that way it placates to their own ego. That's the only way, because males don't care about anything else. They don't care about kids. They don't care about women. They don't care about animals. They don't care about the planet. They don't care about anything else except for themselves. 99.99% of males, most males, that's just how they are. So if you're insisting on doing that, the only way to get anything done is to trick them into doing it. And the way that you trick them into doing it is by making them believe that the reason they're doing said thing is for themselves, thereby further boosting their egos. Know what I mean? Does that make sense? We all have had tough childhoods. That's no excuse. Yeah, because part of the video, the host mentioned you just had a really crappy childhood, and that's the majority of the reason why you think in this way and you're behaving in this way. So this commentator is saying, okay, that's not even an excuse. I mean, we've all had crappy childhoods. Like, that's not an excuse for being this type of person that literally is not worth the shirt that he's wearing, probably, you know? And then someone else says, this is just an awful situation. Yep. A great dad protects and provides. Exactly. Protects, provides, and doesn't feel like his role is supposed to be that of the woman's role, when he can't even you can't give birth. You can't get pregnant. You can't go through pregnancy. Like, you can't even empathize. You have no emotional control. You can't do anything that the woman can do, yet you want to be in the woman's role. This is what we're dealing with today, ladies. This is what we're dealing with today. And we have another male in here further validating the aspect that we now know that a lot of these males, most of them are resentful of women and jealous of women, which is wild. He says, I don't resent my stay-at-home wife, but I am slightly jealous. So what does he think jealousy leads to? What does jealousy lead to? At this point, they're talking about the second case, right? And of course, this is like a completely different show. So I'm only able to show like little segments of it. But at this point, they're talking about a completely different case. So that's where this comment comes from, where she says she's idealizing and building a co-delusion with this guy who literally cheats on her. The deep fantasy element of it is worth the pain and emotional cost for some strange reason. She already has zero true belief in love, probably. Yeah, so she's staying with a guy. The next caller is a woman that for some reason continues to stay with a guy that is cheating on her, mistreating her, the Lulu. So ladies, don't become one of these stories. I mean, this is wild. Shocking caller 1 is an insecure guy living paycheck to paycheck with anger issues because he bought into the trad wife red pill. Absolutely. I
would say to young men who are irritated at women is, if you're irritated at women, as a class of creature, there's something wrong with you, because they're right. You're wrong. They're right to not pick you. If they're not picking you, it's because they're right. I know that's a terrible thing to say, but what you have to understand is that, what do you expect from women? If you got pregnant because you had sex, you'd be pretty damn choosy too. So, clue in a bit. And then, well, don't they find you attractive? Well, maybe you're not. Have you paid attention to how you dress? Do you have a plan? Are you as educated as you could be? Are you a liar? Are you a rabid pornography user? If you were better, you'd be more successful with women.
A lot of men don't even like women. And it shows. It shows in their opinions. It shows in how they operate. It shows in how they talk with their friends. It shows that a lot of times men just go for women because that is the right thing to do. That is what we are taught up on. But a lot of men don't even really like women because you don't respect them. You don't see their worth. You don't understand them. You don't try to understand them. The only time a black man is able to actually respect a black woman is if it comes from trauma, is if she's putting money on his books, is if she's holding it down. That's the only time he's able to understand her, or if she's crying. But a lot of times when it comes down to black men, they do not really respect black women. They do not really appreciate black women. So you can't really, and I don't even talk about you. Yeah. I'm directing it to him, so you can't really say pick me. Because what it is as a gay black man, and I'm not even sexually attracted to them, I respect them and I honor them and
I've come to a realization when it comes to standards, and I think it's not that men think that a woman's standards are too high. I think that they're upset that you have standards at all. Because a man could jump on Michelle Obama's internet and scream to the cows come home that they don't like women with natural hair. They don't like dark-skinned women. They like women that go 50-50. They don't like women who are to this or to that. They like women who have this type of body type or whatever. They can tell you all day long all the nitpicky things they feel about a woman. But as soon as you part your lips to say, well, I want a man who, they already want to cut you off. You're already asking for too much. So you could be somebody making six figures with a six-pack, wearing 6-inch heels, okay? You could be doing all those things, and he could be in his mom or dad's basement, working at McDonald's, and he feels entitled to you. And he doesn't think that you should be able to tell him no because he's a man and he wants you. Like some caveman. He's going to knock you over the head and drag you back to the cave. No, we can choose. And the more women have things going for themselves, the more women are being more selective, the more upset they get because they feel entitled to any woman that they want. Who cares what they have to offer? That you can have all these things going for yourself and they're still going to say, what do you bring to the table? We are the table. The table, the napkins, the plates, the silverware, the setting, everything. We're the floral arrangements. Honey, we're all of it. But the thing about it is they don't want you to have standards at all because they want to be able to pick and choose whoever they want no matter if they qualify or not. They hate the idea that they have to qualify. They can disqualify or qualify you based on how you look, what you wear, anything. They'll look you up and down and just immediately be like, no, immediately no. But as soon as you say, well, I like a man who pays the bills, they're like, hey, look at you. You're getting way ahead of yourself. Like, excuse me? You can have a whole list, as long as your doggone arm, about who a woman has to be. But as soon as she says, well, I want this, you're like, it's too much. It's not that your standards are too high. They don't want you to have standards at all. They want to be able to say, I want this one who's got all the men who want her. I want her. And I have nothing to offer and, nothing going for myself, but I should be able to have her because I want her. But no, it don't work like that and it never will.
The basic issue is that our floor is their ceiling. Every step we take reminds them that we've excelled well above them. Wow. Couldn't have said that better myself. And don't let the woman with standards be plus size. Then they really get mad. I've noticed that too. It's wild. They get mad regardless though, so they're not useful regardless. But yeah, they become even more hateful, which is surprising considering the fact that they are already so hateful in the first place. This is so true. I look at some males who approach me and I'm like, wow, they don't even care that they can't match my current lifestyle. And they also try to shame the males who try to meet these standards or do meet these standards. They call them simps. I can't date anymore. I'm so done. Oh yeah, girl. 4B all the way. Because they want the women they want to be accessible to them. Your standards don't make it this easy. And males love easy. Oh my God, y'all. How can we continue to live with these degenerate species? Oh my God. How are we going to do this? Oh God. Oh, ew. Okay. They will match your rich girl lifestyle on social media and still try to talk to you while having nothing to add. And then they get mad when you say no. Yeah, literally. And then they get mad and then their ego continues to get more bruised and they end up in the red pill space. It's like, what the heck? When I realized the pattern of me dating down, I was like, I'm good single until I meet a mirror. until I meet my mirror. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't even make any sense.
Talk about gold diggers. Listen, I've dated a guy and I was his support system. I held him down.
Right.
And the resentment and the jealousy that man had for me, I will never do that again. He hated me because of it. And I'm thinking I'm being the one that's on his side, his corner. I moved him in. To make him feel like more of a man because he wasn't making what I was making, he started to fool around. He started to do, because that made him feel like a man. Okay. I can only speak from my experiences.
Absolutely.
So when I say I want someone with money and everything else, the resources, to know that you're not lazy, to know that you're ambitious enough to figure it out. I don't have kids. When I look for a potential mate to settle down or have a child with, I want to know that you can provide for your family. I want to know that you're a man and you're going to figure it out, because as a woman, I'm going to figure it out. I could have did many routes, People talk about gold diggers. Listen, I've dated a guy and I was his support system. I held him down.
Right.
And the resentment and the jealousy that man had for me, I will never do that again. He hated me because of it. And I'm thinking I'm being the one that's on his side, his corner. I moved him in. To make him feel like more of a man because he wasn't making what I was making, he started to fool around. He started to do, because that made him feel like a man. Okay. I can only speak for my experiences.
Absolutely.
So when I say I want someone with money and everything else, the resources, to know that you're not lazy, to know that you're ambitious enough to figure it out. I don't have kids. When I look for a potential mate to settle down or have a child with, I want to know that you can provide for your family. I want to know that you're a man and you're going to figure it out, because as a woman, I'm going to figure it out. I could have did many routes,